March, Council on Aging of West Florida brought Alzheimer's expert Dr. Richard Powers to Pensacola for a free workshop for community caregivers. Both he and his information were very well received by a packed house. Based on the response, Council on Aging of West Florida and others are bringing Dr. Powers back for an update on caring for the Alzheimer's patient. Here to tell us about the workshop is Kenny Holt, Council on Aging of West Florida's Vice President of Social and Community Services. Kenny, thanks for being here.
Thanks for inviting me and scheduling a time to talk about this great event.
Well, scheduling is a challenge for you. You've got so much stuff going on. In fact, before we get into this workshop, remind our viewers about the other caregiver support opportunities that you and your staff are providing, because there's just a lot of stuff y'all are doing and it's all great.
Well, family caregivers do provide an enormous and wonderful amount of service to their loved one, their family, whoever they're caring for. We have partnered with several people in the community, and we provide 5 separate support groups at 5 different locations. They all meet monthly. 3 of them are designed to support caregivers caring for elderly or elderly caring for an elderly person or a disabled adult. And then we have 2 that are geared toward grandparents or other relatives raising children.
And what kind of response do you get from the people who attend those support groups?
They wish they had known about it before or earlier so they could have participated. A lot of them state that they didn't think they'd get a lot out of going to a support group. And I think the biggest thing that we hear back is just knowing someone else is going through what they do, and they help each other, they mentor each other, they support each other, and just talk about their issues.
Well, I know these support groups have been going on, not for a real long time, but they have been ongoing. Can anybody join at any time? That's
the great thing about these. There's no set schedule. They are led by a facilitator. Each one stands alone. People can come in at any point and just be involved.
Great. So how could somebody get more information on the particular dates and locations, for example?
Well, we have that information on our website, coawfla.org, or they can call us at the Council on Aging, 432-1475. We're glad to give them information. We have flyers. We can mail them out. Like I said, they can look on that website, or we can talk to them on the phone.
Great, because those are some very, very good programs. Let's get back to the workshop. Tell us a little bit about the title, because that tells us kind of the focus of the workshop.
Well, the title is Caring for the Alzheimer's Patient. Dr. Powers is a nationally known Alzheimer's physician, and talks not only about Alzheimer's but dementia in general.
Tell us a little bit about his background, because he really is an expert. Tell us a little bit about some of the things he's done. I mean, there's tons of them. But
okay, he's a geriatric psychiatrist and neuropathologist, and is a leading authority on Alzheimer's disease as well as other forms of disease. He's presented to Congress. He's presented at state levels with Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. Just like you said, he's got an incredible resume and just is really well received by everybody who knows him. He doesn't talk above your head when you do hear him. He puts it down to a level that even I can understand. And so,
yeah, it's very, very conversational, very everyday language. Well, obviously people will want to attend this. Tell us when and where and how much and all that good stuff.
Okay, well, the first thing I want to say, it's free.
Hey,
just like
great.
All of our caregiver programs, they're free to attend. We are asking that people make a reservation. That allows us to schedule and plan some things. The event will be Friday, January 14th, 2011, and that's going to be held here at University of West Florida Conference Center.
Well, great. Well, tell us a little bit. Do you have a little bit more about what he's going to be talking about, or a summary, for example?
Well, he's targeting an update. We had the training in March,
right,
and we wanted to get him to come back. We felt like he didn't have enough time to give us everything that he wanted to, and he is coming back to talk to us and finish some of that, as well as talk about the future of dementia and treatment of dementia and Alzheimer's disease.
Well, you were really, one of the main people putting that together back in March. Tell us a little bit about the comments from the people that attended that, because you really had a packed house.
We did. The church that donated the location, we were at the walls at capacity. We had nearly 200 attend. We think we'll have more than that attend this time. Just a great speaker all the way around, talking about treatment and caring for, and of course he emphasizes that the caregiver must take care of themselves, and that's part of why we want to do this training. Some education on not just the patient that's being cared for, but the caregiver as well taking time for themselves.
Well, what I noticed in St. Mark's that day, I saw a lot of people, kind of light bulbs went off on their face, like, so I'm not the only one. This is not
Absolutely.
only happening to me and my family. I feel better because it's normal.
Right. And I think probably the biggest comment that I heard was, I wish it wasn't over. Again, people felt like that he could have talked for hours more and we would have sat there and listened, but we just didn't have that time.
Now, what about arriving? I know we talked earlier about 9 to noon, but you prefer them to get there a little early. Tell us about that.
The event is 9 to 12, but we want registration at 8:30, and that will allow people to get into the conference center here at the university and get seated. As it is right now, I don't think everybody will have a table to write on, so the early bird will get a seat with a table, but we'll have seating for more than that, and so we just want people to get here as early as possible, and 8:30 is when we start registration.
Are there, what about people who, you know, this time slot may not be good for them with work or for caregiving? Is there any opportunity for some respite possibly?
There is. Our funding with the Council on Aging is going to allow us to fund some of the respite. If they're a client with the council, hopefully we can arrange for respite through their case manager. When they make their reservation, if they need respite, they just need to make that known, and we'll do what we can for that. There is respite available to some degree.
Well, as a person who puts on all these caregiver support groups, what would you really, if you just had a few words to say to encourage our viewers to really consider attending this, what would you encourage? What would you say?
Just take this opportunity. It's a wonderful opportunity to hear not only about Alzheimer's, but dementia, as well as meet some other caregivers that may be going through the same thing that you are. There will be breaks at this event, and you get to meet other people. So I would just encourage, take that opportunity to come join, as well as join one of the support groups that meet monthly.
Great advice, and again, it is he's an expert in the field, so it's it's nice to be able to have him here in Pensacola again. So thank you very much for your part in doing that. Before we go, just remind everybody the day and place and the RSVP number, if you don't mind.
All right, it is Friday, January 14th, 2011, at the University of West Florida Conference Center from 9 to 12 o'clock in the morning. Registration begins at 8:30. And the phone number to call to make the reservation is area code 850-478-7790. And we ask that that reservation be made by January 10th.
Great information, Kenny. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to be here to share this information with our viewers.
Again, thank you for having us here and inviting us and scheduling for talking.
It'll be a great one.